Welcome back to Golden Stories, where reality burns hotter than fiction. If you're new here, buckle up, because today's story will shake your bones and twist your gut. And if you're already family, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this fire. Now let's dive in. The hotel lobby smelled of fresh polish and expensive perfume, a place where power strutted in high heels and money wore designer suits. Enter Miss Alexandra Whitmore, daughter of a billionaire tycoon, wrapped in arrogance thicker than her diamond necklace. She didn't walk, she floated, as though the marble floor had been laid specifically for her. And then she saw him. David Kareem. Tall, sharp, carrying himself with a kind of dignity money couldn't buy. His skin shone against the lobby lights like polished bronze, his tailored suit whispering quiet wealth. He had come for a deal, but Alexandra saw only one thing: color. "Excuse me," she snapped loud enough for the crowd to turn. "Who let the driver in here? This isn't the servants' entrance." Her words sliced the air like a blade dipped in poison. David didn't flinch. His calmness only seemed to enrage her more. "Oh, don't stand there looking proud," she hissed, stepping closer so everyone could hear. "Men like you shine shoes. They don't sign contracts. My father built this hotel, like you probably clean the toilets." Laughter bubbled from a few spineless bystanders who wanted her attention, while others shifted uneasily, ashamed but silent. David simply raised an eyebrow, lips curving into the faintest smile. That smile made her crack. Alexandra grabbed a glass of champagne from a tray and hurled it at him, liquid spilling down his chest, glass shattering across the floor. The lobby gasped. "Now you look the part," she sneered, eyes glittering with venom. If you're enjoying this story so far, make sure to like and subscribe because trust me, you haven't seen nothing yet. This is still Golden Stories, and if you're feeling the sting of this tale, don't forget to like and subscribe because what's coming next will shock you even more. David didn't react the way Alexandra expected. No shouting, no begging, not even the slightest crack in his calm. He simply took out his silk pocket square, brushed off the champagne dripping from his lapel, and smiled as though she were a child throwing a tantrum in the candy aisle. That smile was gasoline on her fire. "You think this is funny?" Alexandra spat, her voice slicing through the lobby. "I'll make sure you're blacklisted from every hotel in this city. You don't belong in spaces like this. You belong polishing shoes in the alley, if you're lucky." Her cruelty wrapped around the crowd like smoke. The pianist froze mid-key, waiters pretended to rearrange trays just to avoid eye contact, and a few bold guests chuckled nervously, desperate to stay on Alexandra's good side. She strutted closer, heels clicking like gunshots against the marble. Raising her hand, she paused inches from David's face, savoring the moment. Then she laughed cruelly. "No, I won't even touch you. You're not worth chipping my nails. Security." Two guards stepped forward, clearly uncomfortable but bound to her command. They reached for David, but before they could lay a hand on him, his voice sliced through the air. "Don't." Just one word. Firm, deliberate, heavy. The guards froze mid-motion, as if the weight of it anchored their arms down. Alexandra's laugh rang out, dripping with venom. "Pathetic. Our janitor thinks he can command my men? Sweetheart, the only thing you'll ever command is a mop. Now get on your knees and apologize for dirtying my air." The crowd leaned in, caught between shame and curiosity. David still hadn't raised his voice. Gasps spread through the crowd like wildfire, some horrified, others leaning in with morbid curiosity. Alexandra grinned wider, basking in the spotlight of her cruelty. "On your knees, janitor," she demanded again, her voice echoing off the marble pillars. "Or I'll make sure your name is dirt in every business circle from here to Wall Street." David's eyes never left hers. Calm, steady, like a lion watching a hyena wear itself out. He didn't budge, and that silence was a slap to her ego. She stepped even closer, close enough that the scent of her overpriced perfume mixed with the sting of spilled champagne on his suit. "Oh, don't play mute now," she taunted, raising her chin. "Or maybe you don't understand English? Shall I speak slower?" Someone in the back muttered, "That's too much," but Alexandra spun on her heel, pointing at the man. "Shut up unless you want to join the help." Her laughter rang like glass shattering, sharp and painful. She turned back to David and in one swift, shocking move, picked up the remnants of the broken champagne glass at his feet. Holding it by the stem, she dangled it dangerously close to his tie. "Maybe a cut on that fancy suit will remind you of your place." The room froze. The guards hesitated, unsure whether to intervene, but Alexandra's wild eyes dared anyone to stop her. She smirked, lifting the jagged edge just enough to press it against the fabric of his chest. "Tell you what," she whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. "Beg. Beg like the servant you are, and maybe I won't shred that suit off your back." David finally moved, slow, deliberate, his hand lowering hers just slightly, still calm, still unshaken. If you're gripped by this story, hit like and subscribe, because what's coming next will make jaws drop. The jagged glass trembled in Alexandra's hand, but not because she was afraid, because David's calm unsettled her. He leaned in just slightly, his voice low but carrying through the lobby like thunder. "Careful," he said. "You're about to cut more than fabric. You're about to cut your own future." She laughed in his face. "Future? Yours ended the moment you walked in here. Mine? Untouchable." She snapped her fingers at the guards again. "Drag him out. Now." But the guards didn't move. Their radios buzzed, and one suddenly stood straighter. "Ma'am, I think you should see this," he said nervously, glancing toward the revolving glass doors. Every head turned as a wave of men and women in tailored suits streamed in, reporters, investors, and executives. At their center was a sharply dressed woman carrying a leather folder, flanked by cameras flashing like lightning. She announced loudly, "We're here for the $4 billion signing with David Kareem." The entire lobby fell silent. Alexandra blinked, her smirk evaporating as realization crashed over her like ice water. David stepped forward, brushing past her without another glance, and extended his hand to the lead executive. "Shall we begin?" he said coolly, as though he hadn't just been drenched in champagne and insulted like dirt. Reporters swarmed, microphones shoved forward, eyes darting between David's dignity and Alexandra's crimson face. Someone whispered, "She thought he was staff?" Laughter rippled, this time not at David, but at her. Alexandra tried to stammer an excuse, but the humiliation was complete. Cameras captured every second, her venom curdling into shame under the weight of the world's gaze. David didn't look back once. This was Golden Stories. If you enjoyed watching arrogance meet its downfall and dignity win the day, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because more stories like this are coming your way.